Hello everyone, I'm Arunima from Knit and Otter, and I'm here today to share the details of my 2023 blanket CAL with you. This year's CAL is very similar to the previous 2 years that in that there will be 25 squares that will be released at an interval of 2 weeks. And at the end, just about around the time of Thanksgiving, there will be a total of 25 squares, and we'll put them all together and make a blanket, or you're free to put them together and make whatever project you like. But I'm going to make a blanket and I'm going to share the patterns for all the squares and how to join them and how to make a mosaic border. So about the border and the technique for this year's CAL, I've picked Tunisian Mosaic Crochet. The reason I've done that is because I absolutely love the technique. Three best things about it are that there are only two stitches, so you only need to know two stitches. Even though it's a color work technique, you work with only one color in every row. You don't change color to get the design. So the pattern is built by using different stitches and not by actually changing color in between rows. And the third part, which is pretty amazing in Tunisian crochet, is that you don't have to cut yarn and reattach after every row. So let's quickly get into the details of the CAL. There will be one 10-inch by 10-inch square that will be released every 2 weeks. And the way to access the patterns is I have the written instructions and charts without X's that are available on my ad supported blog. And there are two options to purchase the pattern. But even if you do purchase the pattern, this is a mystery CAL, so you will get these squares every 2 weeks as they're released, and you will not get the pattern all at once. Just wanted to put it out there in case some people have purchased a pattern in the past, assuming that they'd get the full thing at once, but that's not how I'm hosting my CAL. This is a mystery CAL, so a pattern will be released every 2 weeks, and that's how everybody will get it. So all the details are on my blog. I'm going to put the link in my description, in the description of this video, so you can go check it out. There is the release schedule. So there will be 25 squares, and there will be a the last week is when I will release the instructions for joining the squares and how to add a mosaic border. So the mosaic border will be worked in around. So the squares are worked flat, but the border will be worked in around, and I will show you how to do all of that. I will have tutorials and everything that you need to be able to make your border. So that will be the last release date will be November 22nd, and that's right before Thanksgiving. So you can use your Thanksgiving break to complete the border and your blankets. So this is a beginner friendly CAL because the stitches are not very difficult. I mentioned this before. There's just two stitches and you don't have to change color. So there's just two or three different techniques that, two or three different things that you need to know to be able to work a Tunisian mosaic project. And the CAL has already started, and I know that some people were complete beginners in Tunisian crochet. They hadn't done it before, and they were able to pick this project and start working with it. It does take practice, and it will take time for your attention to even out, for you to understand how to make the stitches or how to work a Tunisian crochet project, but it is doable for a complete beginner. Um, I have the gauge instructions, abbreviations, and everything mentioned on my blog. I'll quickly go over the yarn and the hooks that I've used. So I've used Stylecraft Special DK yarn for my blanket. It is these two colors I used. This is white and this is silver. So these are the colors that I've used for my blanket, and I have used my Denise hooks. This is a interchangeable hook set, and this one has two hooks of each size, and I used a 6mm hook to make my squares, and I used a 5.5mm hook, I think. Just a second. So yes, I used a 5.5mm regular crochet hook to join the squares, and I made the mosaic border with I built a double-ended hook using these hooks. So I used a 6mm hook for the forward pass and a 5.5mm hook for the reverse pass. So if you have a hook set that does not have two of each, you can still work on this project because you're using two different hooks for the forward and the reverse passes. Um, that's that's pretty much it. I think that's about the cal. I am going to show you how to work the first square, how to start working on it, and all these squares are going to be similar. So let me just show you one. So this is the chart for the first square. This is the Apache Tears pattern, and this is how all the squares are. Every square has this border, the mosaic border outside, and this center portion, it's 25 by 25 squares, and this will change with every square. So every square will have a different mosaic pattern in the center. Um, I have also provided an empty chart in all the paid versions where you can build your own. Um, I've seen that a lot of people have already used that chart and the empty chart and built their own squares. There have been some very, very beautiful squares that have been shared in my Facebook group in case you wanted to go check them out. But if you do not have the paid version, this is very easy to create. The border will be exactly the same. So if you can make a 25 by 25 grid, I do this in Excel or in Google Sheets. So you can just make a grid of 25 by 25 cells in those one of those, and you can fill them in and make your own pattern. I just want to point out one more thing. In this video, I'm not going to go into the details of the stitches or the techniques. I'm just going to show you how to start working on your squares. I'm going to go from starting from here. So this is going to be right-handed instructions. I'm sorry, I won't be able to provide this left-handed because I can't crochet left-handed, and I usually flip my videos, and that doesn't work for videos um, that have text in the video. So, but I do have stitch tutorials that are for left-handed people if you have trouble figuring out your stitches. Um, so here I'm going to start working on the square. I'm going to start from the bottom right corner and work my way up. And I'm going to make a few rows and show you how to get started. If you have trouble with the stitches or if you want to learn how to uh, change color, you will be able to see it in this video, but if you this I'm not going to go into the details of those things here. So I have separate videos for those, and you're welcome to check those out. I'm going to put all the links in the description below. There'll also be I also have a separate video that goes over how to read a chart. So again, that is not what I'm going to cover here. So let's quickly get started. So in this video, for the tutorial, I'm going to use these two yarns. I'm not using the white and silver combination just because the contrast is better here. So this is still Stylecraft Special DK. I'm going to use the same 6mm hook, but I'm going to use these two colors. So let's begin with the foundation row. So the foundation row, that's the first row in this pattern here. That's row number 1, and that's the foundation row. Let me see if I can. Okay, so that's the foundation row, and that is, if you see here, that's 1 to 43. That's 43 stitches. This might be a little hard to see. Let me see if I can. So here, this is 43. So there are 43 stitches. So we're going to start with a foundation chain of 43 stitches. So starting with the slip knot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 40, 41, 42, 43. So that's my foundation chain of 43 stitches, and I'm going to make the foundation row in this. So I'm going to flip this chain over, find that back bump, and insert my hook there. So this is the second stitch from the hook. So this is the loop on the hook. I'm going to skip this one and go into the second stitch from the hook. So that's yarn over, pull through. That's the first one. And I'm going to do that in every chain all the way to the end. So I should have 43 loops on my hook at the end of the forward pass. So again, I'm not going into the details of how to make a foundation row here. I have a separate video for that, but if you already know how to make a foundation row, you just pick up the back bump and make your stitches there. So here I am at the end of the forward pass. I have 43 loops on my hook. So this is how it's looking. Just remember that the first row in the pattern is the foundation row. Call that row number 1. And I'm going to make the reverse pass now, which is just a chain 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 until there is 1 loop remaining on the hook. Okay, actually, I lied. I should have said we need to stop when there are 2 loops on the hook. So I I'm I just completed the forward the reverse pass. So this is 43 stitches in the square. I stopped here. Normally we complete the forward the entire row by stopping when there's 1 loop on the hook, but I stopped at 2 because we're going to change color now. So we don't change color in the middle of the row, but we do change color um, after every row. So the first row is this color, the second row will be the other color. So to change color at this point, all you do is when you've got 2 loops on the hook, you pick up the next color and pull through and tighten that loop a little bit. So that's how we change color at the beginning of the forward pass, and you just have to change color after every row. So first row will be this color, the silver, second one will be this is copper, third will be silver, fourth copper, fifth silver, sixth copper. So you just change color after every row and you'll see how that works out. So this was row 1. Now going back to the chart, we'll look at row 2. Row 2 is a row of Tunisian simple stitches. So it's all of it is just simple stitches. So there's 41 simple stitches and 2 edge stitches. So that makes a total of 43. So there's an edge stitch, 41 simple stitches, and then another edge stitch. So that's what we're going to do. So the edge stitch at the beginning of a row counts as this one. So you don't do anything, you just let it be and start making the simple stitches by picking up the front vertical bar of every stitch from the previous row. So that's going to be like this. Then we're going to go all the way till the end. There will be a total of 43 loops on your hook at the end of the forward pass. So it's the same for every row, for every square. So 43 loops at the end of the forward pass, which includes 2 edge stitches and 41 stitches aside from those. So this is how it is at the end of the forward pass. So I made the last stitch by picking up the 2 vertical bars of the last stitch from the previous row. There's a total of 43 loops on the hook at this point, and I'm going to make the reverse pass by doing a chain 1 and then yarn over, pull through 2, and I'll do this until I have 2 loops remaining on the hook. Now here I am. Here there's 2 loops remaining on the hook. I'm going to now change color again. So instead of cutting this, I let it be. I'm going to move this working yarn towards the other side. I'm going to pick this one and yarn over, pull through 2 and just pull a little tight. So that completes row 2, and this is how it's looking. So this was a foundation row and a row of simple stitches. Now going on to row 3. So row 3 here, it starts with a edge stitch, and then there's an extended front post extended simple stitch. So there was a little bit of confusion about what ETSS is. Well, if you read it, if you just try to expand ETSS, it does translate to extended Tunisian simple stitch, but that's not what it is. So if you look at the abbreviations, that's where I've explained what that exactly is. It is front post extended Tunisian simple stitch. I'm going to show you how I'll make it, but just know that I use that abbreviation ETSS because just purely to save paper, because if I was using FP ETSS, I had a good 15 pages extra, and making that small change helped immensely. So I decided to go with ETSS, but that is front post extended Tunisian simple stitch. And another thing that came up recently was that some people had trouble making this stitch. So it is okay to just make an extended Tunisian simple stitch. It's just the coverage is not that great, and you might not find the pattern to be as clear. But if you're okay with that, and if the front post extended simple stitch is hard, you can definitely go with that. So I just wanted to put it out there, but I am going to use the front post Tunisian extended simple stitch, and I'm going to show you how. So we start with an edge stitch here. We are on row 3 edge stitch. There is a front post extended simple stitch, and then 3 simple stitches, and then this is 33 front post extended simple stitches, then 3 simple stitches, and a front post extended simple stitch, and then we end with an edge stitch. So I'm going to make that now. So this is the part which is slightly hard. That is to make an extended simple stitch or front post extended simple stitch in the first stitch after this edge stitch. So the way, so I've practiced a lot, and I'm able to pick up the loops that I need to, but it helps to have a pointy hook so that you can easily pick up those stitches. But the ones that we're looking for are here. You can use another smaller hook which will help you find those stitches. So are the loops that you need to pick up. So if you look here, this is the reverse pass chain. You need to push that down a little, and then you can see here, these are the 2 loops you need to pick up. This is the front vertical bar, and this is the back vertical bar. And it's very easy to find them if you just push this chain down, the reverse pass chain, and pull these 2 up together. So it's this here and this here. Yarn over, pull through, and then chain 1. And then 3 simple stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then 33 front post extended simple stitches. So you see here, this is the reverse pass chain, and there is this loop here and this one here. These 2 are the ones that I'm going to pick up and make a front post extended simple stitch. So we need to do 33 of these. That's 1, 2, 3, 31, 32, 33, and then 3 simple stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then 1 front post extended simple stitch, and then an edge stitch. And the reverse pass is the same. We start with a chain 1 and then yarn over, pull through 2 until we have 2 loops on the hook. And here I am. I'm stopping where there's 2 loops remaining on the hook. I'm going to move this yarn here, pick up the previous color, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that completes row 3. And you'll see that there was a lot of extended stitches here that hides this yarn at the back, but you'll also see that there's this sort of this ridge at the back which is floating, and some people don't like that. There is somebody in my Facebook group who came up with a method to anchor this to the fabric of the square, and it has worked well for a lot of people. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm not going to demonstrate it right now, but you're welcome to go check it out there. I think there's a photo tutorial that she created. So But I just wanted to let you know that this, if this is what, if this is happening, then that's okay. Now moving on to row 4. So row 4 is, now we changed color again, so it starts with a simple stitch, a front post extended simple stitch, simple, front post extended simple, and then 33 simple stitches, and then front post extended simple, simple, front post extended simple, simple, and then end with an edge stitch. So I'm going to make row 4 now. So we will continue with this copper color now. That's the new one for this row. I'm sorry, that's the color for this row. So it is, this is the first stitch or the edge stitch, and then we make a simple stitch, and then a front post extended simple stitch, a simple stitch, a front post extended simple stitch, and then 33 simple stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 33. And then front post extended simple stitch, simple stitch, front post extended simple stitch, and a simple stitch, and then the edge stitch, which is the last stitch here, by picking up the 2 vertical bars and over pull through, and then make the reverse pass by chain 1, and then yarn over pull through 2 until 2 loops remain on the hook. And then stop when there's 2 loops on the hook, move this yarn this way, pick up the previous color, and complete the return pass with that color. So this is the end of row 4, and you see how this is curling. This is normal. This is to be expected. Some people have had a lesser curl than this, but mine blocked just fine. So after I completed my squares, I was able to block them, and they were sitting flat after that. So this is normal. On to row 5 now. Row 5 starts with an extended front post extended simple stitch, and then there are 39 simple stitches, and then a front post extended simple stitch, and then an edge stitch. So start with the edge stitch, which is do nothing here, and then an extended simple stitch. Now this is again hard to find. So here, just push that reverse pass chain down and pick up this and this. These are the 2 loops. So pick these up and over pull through, chain 1, and 39 simple stitches. 37, 38, 39, and then a front post extended simple stitch, and then an edge stitch. Then reverse pass, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, stop when there are 2 loops on the hook. It's stopped here, there's 2 loops on the hook. I'm going to pick up this yarn and complete the reverse pass. So you see how we have a nice edge forming here. The carried yarn is interlocked properly at the back, and this is the other edge, and see how the pattern is starting to show up now. Again, we're dealing with curling, but that's okay. So you see this. This is how it's looking, and This is the end of row 5. So we're at the end of row 5. So it is very easy to make mistakes in this pattern because you can't really see how the pattern is building up while you're making it. So I recommend doing a visual inspection after every 4 or 5 rows so that the maximum that you have to frog is 4 or 5 rows. I've tried to remember to do that, but it doesn't usually work. So I like to make a note here after every 4 rows. I put a marker, or I write down visual inspection so that I can go back. I don't forget to do it. So a lot of people have made a mistake and they've not found it until they completed their square, and that is very, very frustrating. So to avoid that frustration, just remember to do a visual inspection after every few rows. So now going on to row number 6. Row number 6 is here, starts with an edge stitch, 3 simple stitches, 1 front post extended simple stitch, 33 simple stitches, 1 front post extended simple stitch, and 3 simple stitches, end with an edge stitch. So I'm going to make that. Three simple stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then a front post extended simple stitch, and then 33 simple stitches, 1, 2, 3, 31, 32, 33, and then a front post extended simple stitch and 3 simple stitches before we finish off with a edge stitch, which is the last stitch, by picking up the 2 vertical bars. So a lot of times people end up picking this reverse pass chain, the 2 vertical bars over here, instead of these. So make sure that you turn your project sideways and pick up the first 2 vertical bars that you see from the previous row here. It's easier when you're changing color after every row, if you have enough contrast, so you can pick the right ones. But even when you're not working with different colors, just make sure that you're not picking up these two, which happens very often. I've seen people have their left edge not work out properly because they end up picking the wrong 2 bars instead of these here. They end up picking the one from the reverse pass chain. So just be aware of that. You will get a neat left edge if you pick up the right 2 vertical bars. Then reverse pass, which is chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop when there are 2 loops on the hook. Pick up this yarn and complete the reverse pass. So that's the end of row 6, and that is how it's looking. Now on to row 7. So row 7 is here. Start with an edge stitch, 3 front post extended simple stitches, 1 simple stitch, 33 front post extended simple stitches, 1 simple stitch, and 3 front post extended simple stitch before completing with an edge stitch. So here, starting with 3 extended simple stitches. Now the first one is again difficult, but see, I'm not going to use another hook now. If you just look at it like this, you can see that there's this bar and this front bar, and I sometimes have to use my nail to pull this on to the hook, but that's fairly straightforward for me. There's 1, 2, 3, and then a simple stitch, and then 33 extended simple stitches, front post extended simple stitches. So that's 1, 2, 33, 31, 32, 33, and then one simple stitch and three extended simple stitches, front post ones. 1, 2, 3, and then end it with an edge stitch at the last stitch and the reverse pass, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop when there's 2 loops on the hook, pick up the other yarn and complete the reverse pass. So that's how it's looking after the end of row 7. I believe that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 rows. See, there's a significant curl that's happening because there's a lot of this fabric in the back, and that just sort of pushes this forward. That's normal. This will even out either after blocking or because you're going to join your squares, the weight of the other squares will just help even this out, so it won't be like this. This is how it's in the back. So you see that wherever there is a set of extended front post extended simple stitches, you have this sort of this ridge in the back. If this bothers you, there might be a way to anchor this, and I know that there is a way to anchor it, and somebody in my Facebook group did it. I I haven't gotten around to trying it, so I'm not including it in this tutorial, but you're welcome to check it out there. So this is end of row 6, 2, 4, so the end of row 7, and now I'm going to make row 8. So this is where the center part starts. So up until here was all the frame, and now we're starting the pattern. So this part is going to be the exact same for all your squares. So actually the first 9 rows are going to be the same for all your squares. So I'm going to go all the way till row 10 to show you how to get started with this, but for every square going forward, you can use the same tutorial and see how to make the first 8 or 9 uh, 9 rows, and then how to continue and build the pattern on top. So row 8 starts with an edge stitch, 3 simple stitches, 1 front post extended simple stitch, and then 3 simple stitches. The way I've written the pattern is that I've separated out the frame and the center part, so it's easier to read. I know it confused some people. I'm really sorry about that, but I mentioned it in the notes. So if you read 3 simple stitches and then 27 simple stitches and then 3 simple stitches, yes, it's 33 simple stitches. It's just I broke it down into 3, 27, and 3 just so that you know what part of the pattern you're working on. So if it's 3, that's these 3, and then there's 27, which is the center portion, this pattern part, and then there's 3, and then there's an extended front post extended simple stitch, 3 simple stitches, and an edge stitch. So you start with 3 simple stitches, 1 front post extended simple stitch, 3 simple stitches, and then 27 simple stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 25, 26, 27, and then 3 more simple stitches. 1, 2, 3, a front post extended simple stitch, 3 simple stitches, 1, 2, 3, and end it with a last stitch or an edge stitch. See, it's a little hard to find over here, but I'm going to show you how. So there's this loop right here, and then there's the one right next to it. Just make sure you're not splitting the yarn. Here. So see, this is how it looks, and those are the ones that we're going to pick up. Oops, I lost this. Okay. And then chain 1 and yarn over, pull through 2 all the way until there's 2 loops on the hook. And change color, and that's the end of row 8, and that's how it's looking. Now on to row 9. So row 9 here, the edge stitch, 3 front post simple stitches, extended simple stitches, 1 simple stitch, 3 front post extended simple stitches, and then 27 simple stitches, and then 3 front post extended simple, simple, 3 front post extended simple, and then end it with an edge stitch. So here, it's right here, this one and this one. There's 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 27, 1, 2, 3, 5, 26, 27, 3 front post extended simple stitches, 1, 2, 3, and a simple stitch, and 3 front post extended simple stitches. So that's 1, the last stitch, edge stitch, and then the reverse pass, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 all the way until 2 loops remain on the hook. And then change color, complete the reverse pass with that. So here it is. So if you look at the pattern, the first 2 rows were the setup for the mosaic pattern here. And so we had only simple stitches. Similarly, these 2 rows are the setup for this portion of the mosaic pattern. So that's why we start with 2 rows of simple stitches, and that's why it's the same for all the squares. So all the way until row 9, it'll be the same for all squares. After that, we start building whatever pattern we want to build in the center section. So I'm going to make one more row and show you how to start this one. But it's just about how you read the instructions, written instructions, or the chart. Everything's in there. You just have to follow the way we just did. So I'm going to make one more row, and that will be it. So row 10 is 3 simple stitches, 1 front post extended simple stitch, 3 simple stitches, and then this front post extended simple stitch. And then there is, okay, so there's another thing. I didn't take a colored print. I probably should have, but here, there are these lines which are indicating repeats. So these are supposed to be red lines, and red lines indicate the horizontal repeats, and the blue lines indicate the vertical repeats. So basically, whatever is this rectangle right here is just copied over here, copied here, here. It's the exact same, and this exact same is repeated here, 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 here. So anything in between that rectangle is the same. So this is a repeating continuous pattern. You could add as many of these as you want on either side, up or down. It doesn't matter. It will build a pattern like this. So you just have to take this repeat here and just keep adding or add or remove stitches as needed. So you could make a complete full blanket with it, or any size project. You could add a small strip of the Apache Tears pattern to another project that you're working on. All you need to know is the repeats. So here's a quick tip before I move on to row 10. So if you forget to download a chart with X's, it's it's fairly straightforward to add them. I have a separate tutorial for it, but I'm just going to give you a tip here. The entire outer portion that is outside of this grid here, this one is the same for all squares. So if you have one of these with X's, you can just copy over your X's to your chart without X's. And on top of that, if most of these charts are repeating patterns, there are some non-repeating patterns, so those will be different. But if there are repeating patterns and they're surrounded by these blue and red lines, I'm sorry, really should have taken a colored print, but so these are supposed to be blue lines and these are supposed to be red lines. So anything that's inside this rectangle, that is the only part that you need to add access to, and then you can just copy over to the other rectangles because they're the exact same. This is just, I just did this part and then I copied it over here, 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 here. So it really is that simple. You just do this one, add access to one of your rectangles, and then copy it over to the rest. So that should hopefully make it easy for you. Now on to the 10th row. So the 10th row starts with a first stitch, that's this one, 3 simple stitches, 1, 2, 3, a front post extended simple stitch, 3 simple stitches, a front post extended simple stitch, and then the repeat is 2 simple stitches, 1 extended stitch. So here's the repeat. So that's 2 simple stitches, 1 front post extended simple stitch, 2 simple stitches, and this entire thing is repeated a total of 5 times. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the exact same set of instructions, 2 simple, 1 front post extended simple, 2 simple, make it 5 times. So it is 2 simple stitches, 1 front post extended simple stitch, 2 simple stitches, and then repeat that same sequence. 2 simple stitches, 1 front post extended simple stitch, 2 simple stitches, again 2 simple stitches, 1 front post extended simple stitch, 2 simple stitches, 2 simple stitches, 1 front post extended simple stitch, 2 simple stitches. I think we have 4 repeats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th repeat will be 2 simple, 1 front post extended simple, and 2 simple. So that completes that repeat portion in the center, this one. And then there's a front post extended simple, 3 simple, front post extended simple, 3 simple, and end it with an edge stitch. So it's front post extended simple, 3 simple, 1, 2, 3, 1 front post extended simple, and 3 simple, 1, 2, 3, and the edge stitch, and the reverse pass, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and then change color, and that's how it's looking. And as you make more rows, the pattern will start showing up. And again, reiterating here that the pattern between these 2 lines will be repeated. So the next one, so these, we know it will be for say the 11th row, it will be 3 front post extended simple stitches, 1 simple, 3 front post extended simple, and then there's a simple stitch here, and then this part is repeated, 3 simple, 1 extended simple, 3 simple, 1 simple. So 3, 1, 1. This will be repeated a total of 5 times. And then there's a simple stitch, 3 front post extend simple, simple, 3 front post extend simple, and then an edge stitch. So just like that, these stitches here, these 5 stitches are repeated. And once you reach here, then you'll see that this is the exact same as this. So you start repeating this from here. So this is the same as this one is this one is this. So you keep repeating this again and again. So you could extend this pattern to however big or small you want it to be by just adding or removing these rectangles as needed. So that's pretty much all I had for this video. I hope this is helpful. I hope this is what you were looking for. And I just wanted to reiterate this pattern, whether you purchase it or you follow it for free. The squares will be released every 2 weeks, so you will not get the pattern all at once, even if you make a purchase. And because this is a mystery cal and we're all making it together, um, I have separate videos to explain the stitches in detail, the color changing technique in detail. I also have a mosaic crochet course if you're interested in learning about it in more detail. Uh, all the information about this cal is on my blog. I have the pattern on Ravelry also if you want to check it out there. And I have a wonderful Facebook group where there are a bunch of very, very helpful people. So if you're struggling with your pattern, please feel free to join my group and ask there. I'm sure somebody will help. Uh, and there are a lot of squares for inspiration that you can look at. We've got albums where everybody has posted their squares, so you can go look at what other people are working on. They're also working on their own designs, which they're also sharing as they go. So that's another thing to look at if you're interested. And if you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to me. The best way to do that is through email, because I found that I uh, I can lose messages if you try to reach out to me elsewhere. I used to say reach out to me on Facebook or through email or through any kind of messenger app, Instagram, um, pretty much anywhere, or YouTube. But I found that it's easy for me to miss messages because there's so many different places that people can reach out to me. So if you reach out to me by email, that will be the best because that's something I prioritize over everything else. So if you have any questions, reach out to me at arunima@knitonaut.com. I'm going to leave that email address in the description if you need to find it. And that's pretty much it. I really, really hope that you will enjoy this cal. It's been great fun for me so far. I love seeing everybody's squares. So please keep sharing your work with me and reach out if you have any questions. I'll see you in my other videos. Bye bye.